Hi guys, this is vlog number 2. Thanks for all your feedback from vlog number 1. Notice I have red hair. Before everybody starts commenting on it, it's rather red. My niece came to dye it for me, and what I actually ended up doing was leaving it on too long because I was watching Epsiode, and this is what happens when you leave it on too long. It goes very, very, very red, as you can see. But I kind of like it. It's different. I'm an old hippie at heart, so red hair is not such a bad thing. A lot going on this week. I'm prepping for the start of the radio show, which starts again next week. That's the Xander Gibb show, 3 Pacific, 5 Central, 6 Eastern, and 11 o'clock if you're going to be watching from the UK. We'll be putting out more information as to how and where you can see and hear the show. Oh yes, sorry, the studio is just being finished off as we speak. You can maybe hear hammers hammering and drills drilling. It's just getting it all together now for the final day when we actually start doing the live from the studio here, which I'm really looking forward to. I'm just gonna get myself together and go and have lunch with my sister. She's a supermodel. Work! Cover girl! Not that kind of supermodel, but we'll tell you a little bit more about what kind of supermodel she is. But she'll always be super to me. Oh, yes, siree. So what else did I want to tell you? We're going to do a little bit of a soap roundup later, but I don't know if you watched last night, Wednesday's Epination of Cara Street. Episode of Coronation Street, you see. That was Epination is a mixture of episode and nation, as in coronation. Anyway, did you watch it last night? How did you feel about the way they were portraying the storyline with Sinead? I think it's really sad, and I think it's going to do a lot of damage to Daniel. But what do you think? But as I said, we'll do a little soap roundup later. Thanks for joining me again on episode 2 of my vlog. And we will skip to the next item. Oh yeah. I will be back. Hey guys, so it's Thursday and I'm here having lunch, and I've just had a gorgeous steak, which I'm allowed to have on keto, and yes, my hair is red. We'll talk more about that later, and I'm gonna say hello to supermodel Catherine, who is a local model. Say hello and tell people where you model for.
Hello, I'm not really a model.
She's fibbing. She models for a local store called the Magic Fairies, and no, it's nothing to do with me, because I'm not a magic fairy, I'm just a fairy. Oh yes, sorry. But we'll find out a little bit more about Catherine and her modeling in a mere shake of a lamb's tail. Oh yes, sorry. So I've just been accused of looking at the waiter, but I wasn't, honestly. So I wasn't. I would never do that. You guys know me so well. So you're doing a bit more because the guy who owns the store, his mother is on holiday right now.
Yes.
And where's she gone? Anywhere nice?
Benidorm. Think Barb's gone.
Benidorm. So I'm sure you're sunning yourself there, Barb, in Benidorm from the Magic Fairies. But just finally, tell me what you feel. I know you said what it has done for you, but what has it done for your self-esteem to be modeling these clothes? Because you just lost quite a lot of weight, haven't you?
Yeah, it's nice, isn't it, to be part of things again and feel a little bit more confident than you did do. Everyone will understand that.
So, tell me what the best thing about modeling clothes of the Magic Fairies is for you.
So mainly one size fits all. It's nice to know that when you get in your 50s, there's clothes out there comfortable, reasonable priced, because now women of my age whose children have left home, mortgage is coming to an end, a bit more money to spend. It's nice to treat yourself, ladies.
And you were in a video last night, and they've got stuff for £18 right now.
Fantastic.
What a bargain! I wish I had stuff to fit me.
This is one of them. This is one.
See, you can take the model out of the show, but you can't take the show out of the model.
Too kind.
So what is that item called? Because I know they have all these fairy-fied names, don't they?
They do. Head over to the Magic Fairies.
Yeah. Well, thank you for sharing with us there, Catherine, the supermodel. Tell people when they can see your... it's Tuesday nights, isn't it, at 7 o'clock in the UK, and it's the Magic Fairies channel, and tell people where the store is.
It's in a little town called Cleethorpes, North East Lincolnshire, England. It's a lovely little shop.
And it's Cambridge Street, right?
Cambridge Street, yeah, and it's available online.
Yeah, I think it's www.themagicfairies.com, and I'll put the link underneath in the feed. But thank you for talking to us, Catherine, the supermodel. I love you.
You are welcome.
You better work. So I just had a lovely lunch, and I've come out now to find that it's raining cats and dogs, and I got wet through just kind of getting back in the car, but that's okay, because I will be dry soon. But I feel sorry for people who have to work and this kind of thing today. When I was on my way here, I heard an interesting thing on the radio. I don't know if you've heard about it, but apparently 39 people died in the back of a refrigerated truck or a freezer truck or something like that, with regards to the fact that they were being trafficked. Someone had paid someone to get them into the UK, and sadly all of them died, and that's terrible. It's a terrible loss of human life. But there was someone on the radio who was an immigrant, and basically he was saying that the person to blame for this was the UK government, and that they should just open the gates for them and just let everybody flood in. But seriously, who's going to pay for that? And the interesting thing is that most people don't know the difference between a refugee and an economic migrant, because the majority of the people who are trying to come to the UK, as in the same with America, is for a better lifestyle. That doesn't make you a refugee. That makes you an economic migrant. And the thing is, ultimately, that if you're trying to come to a country just to better yourself, I get that, but that does not make you a refugee. So you cannot claim refugee status from simply that. And the concern for me is that immigrants that are here and are working and paying taxes, I applaud you, and the same in the United States. But don't think you can just come and live off the welfare state if you've not paid into that. You know, this country is on its knees with regards to people claiming benefits, etc., when they've not paid into the system. So those that need it, that have paid into the system, are unable to do it. There's no money left in the pot for them, and that's of concern for me. But ultimately, apparently, that makes me a fascist. But I would admit to being a nationalist, which means that, you know, I want to ensure that the people of this country and America are taken care of first, and then whatever's left we'll look at helping other people. But ultimately, we should be helping our own people first. What's bad about that? What's wrong? Tell me in the feed below if you disagree. And I feel the term nationalism has been bastardized somewhat from the perspective of the left. You know, the Democrats and the Labour Party, you know, thinking that we should be helping everybody else first, and I don't think that that's how it works. I'm a Christian, I believe in charity, but, you know, charity begins at home, as my grandmother used to say, and then once we've actually got help for the people that live in our country, then maybe we can take a look at helping other people. And I think that that's quite fair and equitable. I don't know about you, but ultimately, I'm just adjusting the camera angle here. Ultimately, what that says to me is that the left does not care about the citizens of a particular country. What they actually care about is everybody else, and that concerns me. And you should remember this when voting. Yes, we should be helping as many people as possible, but not from the perspective of putting our own citizens second. And that's something that rather concerns me. As a human being, as a Christian, as a humanitarian, I do believe we should be helping people, but not before those who've paid into the pot, because that pot of money, that money that gets paid in taxes, is paid in by the taxpayers of the United Kingdom. And if it's not used by them, or they don't get first dibs, that means that there's something wrong in the process somewhere, as far as I'm concerned. Because ultimately, we need to ensure that the people that live in the country get the first dibs.
It's Friday, and Mother Superior says I need to have a shave, and we've got to eat boiled fish again, with it being Friday. But I don't like boiled fish, but I like those fish things you get in a bun from that place that we're not allowed to mention. You know, with a Scottish name. But what I did want to tell you is that in my convent, we have several new people. We have Sister Euphemia and Sister Alexandria, and I don't like either of them. They're pretty bitchy. One of them's got a vow of silence, but she kind of is bitchy in her looks. Opticians, I don't like bitchy people in stores. I don't like people that look at my halo, you know? My halo, you know, my head wrap thingy, you know. And you know, another thing I don't like is almond milk. I mean, almond milk. How do you milk an almond? It doesn't have a teat. It doesn't have a method where you can extract the milk from it. Don't put it in your tea, especially the unsweetened version, because it's not very nice. Oh no, sorry. I've tried several varieties. Mother Superior says it's good for you, but I don't like it. It's official. Sister Agnes does not like almond milk. But you know, something else that I don't like is people that don't wash their hands when they go to the bathroom. It's kind of disturbing, you know? It's really disturbing, actually, to think that people go to the bathroom and don't wash their hands, especially men, and then in bars they eat nuts. And I also don't like people on buses. Most people on buses don't say hello. What happened to people saying hello to one another? It doesn't happen anymore. People aren't that friendly. People aren't that nice. They should take a lesson from the Pope himself. He speaks to everybody. Prostitutes, drug dealers, homosexuals, you name it, he's there with them. You know what I mean? He's not my favorite Pope, though. No, he's not. Pope John Paul II was my favorite Pope. But, you know, you're not allowed to speak about His Holiness in that way. Because ultimately, you know, God hears everything. Well, it is time now for me to sign off, because I'm going to go and do some knitting.
Hi guys! As you can probably tell, my mouth is not working properly. Before you say, hey, that's wonderful, Xander, it's because I've been to the dentist, so the left side of my mouth feels like numb still. So I can't drink, can't spit, can't talk very well. And I just got back home, and it is raining out there. So I thought I'd spend a minute reflecting with you, hoping that the rain will stop just a little bit in time to be able to kind of get inside and not get too wet while I'm waiting. Some of you may be wondering why I'm wearing sunglasses and it's raining. There's no sun about. It's a New York thing. If you're from New York, you would understand it. Even when it's bitterly cold and there is snow outside in New York, they tend to wear sunglasses. So I was on my way to the dentist and I was rushing. I thought I was going to be late, and it suddenly struck me how bad drivers are or so I should say some drivers are in the UK. As I was driving along one main road, there was a car coming towards me. I wasn't going the wrong way. Don't think that, because I've driven in the US and in Europe and stuff, that I was driving on the wrong side of the road. Oh no, siree. What it actually was is someone wanted to come into the lane to turn right and thought she could bypass about 25 cars in order to get into that lane. I mean, 1 or 2 cars, I can imagine it's okay to do if it's safe to do so, but it clearly wasn't. So I honked the horn, and I can't repeat, you see, this mouth thing. I cannot repeat the expletives and the, I only think she was trying to speak sign language with some of the things she was, like, gesturing at me. But what do you think? Tell me in the feed below, do you think that most drivers in the UK are good or they are bad? I heard an item on the radio this morning when I was on my way to the dentist that was talking about the fact that these new smart roads, there are so many accidents happening that they should change them back and have laybys on them. But a caller was basically saying that, the person that had done this, the person that had caused the accident was an immigrant, and that, things should be changed just for them. And please don't get me wrong. I'm not anti-immigrant as long as they're legal. But I do have this issue is that we should change everything, for people that either have come in the country and it's not their country of origin. We should all be working together. But why not change it for everybody? And the suggestion changing this just because people don't understand maybe the rules of the road. Well, I'm here to tell you this, guys. If you don't understand the rules of the road, stay off the damn road, because you're going to cause accidents. Most people don't know the highway code back to front. I know I don't. But I do know that I'm a good and safe driver. And even, though I had a car accident a few years ago, it was mechanical error, the brakes failed. But even so, if you do not feel that you are a comfortable and competent driver, the rain has stopped now, you see, so I was right. Oh, yes, I was right for a change. If you don't feel you're a comfortable and competent driver, then stay off the damn roads. I don't think that is unfair. I'm sick of listening to radio too, and people calling in and saying, oh, the poor immigrants. Yeah, it's a shame. Oh, what about the poor? Ooh! What about the poor British people? How about giving them a break for a change? Now, just before I sign off, guys, I also want to say that I saw Jeremy Corbyn on the TV today, and that guy is a wimp. For those of you who don't know, he's the leader of the Labour Party. He is scared of a general election because he knows that he will lose. He's scared of a no-deal Brexit because ultimately what that means is that he's going to be losing control. And it's been alleged that some senior politicians are getting payoffs from the EU with regards to Brexit to ensure that they stay, because every week we stay in the EU. What that actually means in real terms is that the EU gets more and more money, and if the UK leaves, lots of other countries will follow suit. So grow a pair, grow a set on Jeremy Corbyn, and let the British people have what they voted for. Let's return sovereignty to the United Kingdom. Let's allow the British public to have their will for a change, not your will, because you're voted in. Let's remember that. And so industries can return, like the fishing industry, the farming industry, etc., because ultimately these systems, these industries are in decline because of the EU and their rules. Now, before you start saying, oh, but some good things have come from the EU. Yeah, a lot of human rights stuff, good practice has come from the EU, and we should keep those and continue to work on them. But those things alone are not a reason to stay. This is the thing. They never asked the UK 40 years ago as should they join? Should they not be a member? They never asked them. They just did it. And ultimately it's been to the UK's detriment. So it's time to get it done now. No more extensions, no more messing around. Let's leave Europe with no deal if possible, and no divorce settlement, and we'll discuss terms after, because they need more from us than we need from them. Car rant number 2 over. I love you all. See you later. So I just watched the episodes of Coronation Street where Sinead Tinker / Osborne dies, and it's actually made me very sad. Got the sun in my eyes here. And I'm still kind of torn whether that should have been shown on the television. I know it's not always sweetness and light with regards to cancer, and there are a lot of people out there that are suffering from it. But I think it's sometimes questionable as to whether issues should be so in your face with regards to these kind of issues from an entertainment perspective. Just because for me, what it does is it makes me sad. You know, it makes us emotive, and anyone that's watched that and was not left, you know, really sad from it, it's kind of a worry, really. But I suppose each to their own. And now Daniel, the character, has gone off on his own with the baby, and you know he's getting hate from from Sinead's family, and I don't know. I know soaps are supposed to be kind of up and down and dramatic and all of these things, but I kind of feel like some storylines leave you a little damaged when a character is just kind of gone. Because I don't know about you, but when people have been in my living room every week for however long, it makes me feel a little enamored with them, towards them, to them, etc., etc. Because I think that, you know, ultimately, how can you kind of develop a relationship with these characters and not feel some kind of care towards them? But I guess that's just me. And apparently, you know, there's going to be more drama for the character of Daniel, because he's kind of not there for the arrangements for the funeral, and people are thinking it's bad, and maybe he's gone away with this girl who was seen kissing on the street. So there's lots of drama and intrigue there. Emmerdale, wow, that really kicked off. Who saw that coming? That guy Nate was Kane's son to some woman that worked in the pub many years ago. In bar, she worked in Woolpack, apparently. See my Yorkshire accent kicking in there from my grandmother. And again, you know, these kind of real dramatic stories. You know, the boat blows up, and you know they swim to safety, and blah blah blah. You know, Kane saves Moira. You know, because there has been talks of me joining Emmerdale as one of the Dingles. They can just see me. Hello, my name's Xander Dingle. I'm going to Woolpack, but make sure doors are wide enough because I'm a wheelchair user. I would really like to be in that soap. But actually, the soap I would like to be in the most, again, I say again because I was in it many years ago as a non-speaking extra, is EastEnders, which has been kind of very interesting this week as well. It's all kind of the storyline of Sharon and her stepdaughter being pregnant to the same person is really kind of culminating and coming to a head right now. Because when Phil finds out, I think he's going to kill him. Phil Mitchell with the bald head. But that kind of remains to be seen. I don't know, maybe you won't find out. But with the fact that Sharon is being blackmailed by Melanie Owen, it's all very, you know, it's all very seedy to say the least. So we'll have to see kind of what comes of that. And it's interesting to see the relationship between Halfway, or Callum, and Ben Mitchell developing. And Sharon came back to find Ben and Halfway kind of in flagrante, shall we say, and Halfway half-dressed, which I thought was kind of funny. But that's developing really well. But, you know, Ben's going to mess it up. I mean, you know, Ben's a good-looking guy, but he's a little bit psycho. And, you know, he's been in prison for murder and murdered someone that you really cared about. So why would you, I'm not saying we shouldn't give people a chance who have been in prison for murder, but, I never get these women that write to guys in jail, like prison wives and things like that. They get with someone and then they get married to them, and then when they come out, they let them come live with them. I always find that a little bit odd, to say the least. So I am I'm kind of looking forward to all of these stories developing this week, and so kind of finding out how people are gonna cope, because I'm a real kind of social anthropologist. Even with characters in soap operas, I kind of want them to do well, which I know is crazy, and is part of my empath stuff, which we'll talk about a little bit more in future vlogs. But yes, look up the word empath, and that's me. I cry at the news about people that I don't know. Well, that's it for the soap roundup. That's it for this week's vlog. Be sure to, down there, you will see this little bell. If you click on that bell, it will let you know when I upload a video. And make sure you subscribe, or I'm going to flirt with your boyfriend. See you next time on the Xander Gibb vlog. I love you all. Bye-bye.
There isn't an ocean too deep, or mountain so high it can keep me away from here.